Welcome to Britain Fights Back. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're all fine and doing well. Campaigners, many of which are family members still grieving and trying to make sense of what happened in Sheffield that day, have long been calling for new legislation to prevent the experiences of families of the 97 Liverpool football fans from ever happening again. In his first speech as Prime Minister on a stage at Liverpool, Starmer promised he would bring in a law, which he dubbed the Liverpool Law, by the next anniversary of the disaster.
I promise, on this stage, that if I ever had the privilege to serve our country as Prime Minister, one of my first acts would be to bring in a Hillsborough law, a duty of candor. A law for the 97, a law that people shouldn't have had to fight so hard to get, that will be delivered by this Labour government.
Monday the 15th of April was the mournful 36th anniversary of the tragic Hillsborough disaster, where 97 Liverpool Football Club fans lost their lives in the most horrendous way. Just to recap, the Hillsborough disaster was a fatal crowd crush at a football match at Hillsborough Stadium in Sheffield on the 15th of April, 1989. The tragedy occurred during an FA Cup semi-final between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest in the two standing-only central pens within the Leppings Lane stand allocated to Liverpool supporters. Shortly before kick-off, police match commander David Duckenfield ordered exit gate C to be opened in an attempt to ease crowding, which led to an influx of supporters entering the pens. This resulted in overcrowding of those pens, and the fatal crush, with a total of 97 fatalities and 766 injuries. The disaster is the deadliest in British sporting history. 94 people died on the day, one more died in hospital days later. Tony Bland died in 1993, and in 2021, Andrew Devine, the 97th person, died. Both Bland and Devine had suffered irreversible brain damage on the day. The match was abandoned and restaged at Old Trafford in Manchester on the 7th of May, 1989. Liverpool won and went on to win that season's FA Cup. In the following days and weeks, South Yorkshire police fed the press false stories, suggesting that football hooliganism and drunkenness by Liverpool supporters had caused the disaster. Blaming Liverpool fans persisted even after the Taylor Report of 1990, which found that the main cause was a failure of crowd control by South Yorkshire police. However, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Dame Barbara Mills, ruled there was no evidence to justify prosecution of any individuals or institutions. The first coroner's inquests into the disaster, completed in 1991, concluded with verdicts of accidental death in respect of all the deceased. However, after much outcry, a second coroner's inquest was held. From the 1st of April, 2014 to the 26th of April, 2016, this time it ruled that the supporters were unlawfully killed, owing to grossly negligent failures by police and ambulance services to fulfill their duty of care. The inquests also found the supporters were not to blame for the dangerous conditions that led to the disaster. Public anger over the actions of the police force during the second inquests led to the suspension of the South Yorkshire Police Chief Constable, David Crompton, following the verdict. In June 2017, 6 people were charged with offences including manslaughter by gross negligence, misconduct in public office, and perverting the course of justice during and after the disaster. As I mentioned, Monday, the 15th of April, was the 36th anniversary of this tragedy. Today is the 17th. Has Starmer brought in new legislation demanding no more cover-ups by police or any and all official bodies, as promised on stage at Liverpool, during one of his first speeches as Prime Minister of our United Kingdom?
I promise, on this stage, that if I ever had the privilege to serve our country as Prime Minister, one of my first acts would be to bring in a Hillsborough law, a duty of candor.
No, of course he hasn't. Like all of his promises, this one was ditched, and instead of facing the music, or even apologizing for such a betrayal, not just of those who died, but also the families still grieving, he upped sticks and buggered off on holiday. A spokesman from Downing Street insisted on Monday Snotbag Starmer remains fully committed to a Hillsborough law, despite missing his pledge to introduce it before the anniversary of the 1989 tragedy today. They said more time was needed to create the best version of the legislation aimed at preventing future state cover-ups. One question. If this new legislation does ever go through, it would hold all institutions, including the police, politicians, and councillors, that turned a blind eye, or worst, to the grooming gangs, accountable for their crimes. Perhaps that's why this government haven't fulfilled their promise. Over to you. Please leave your comments in the box below and become part of our fast-growing community. But for now, I'll just say, thanks for watching, stay calm, stay safe, and we'll chat again soon.